Olá, sejam bem-vindos a mais um Brasil de Fato Entrevista. Você pode acompanhar conversas como essa toda sexta às 8h15 da noite pela TVT ou a qualquer hora pelo YouTube, Spotify, Deezer ou iTunes do Brasil de Fato. Hoje nós conversamos com o ativista palestino Sami Khaderno. Ele mora na Jerusalém Oriental e é integrante da organização não governamental Ma'an Development Center, que promove iniciativas para assegurar direitos básicos ao povo palestino. Na entrevista, ele defende que o plano apresentado pelo primeiro-ministro israelense Benjamin Netanyahu, ao lado do presidente dos Estados Unidos Donald Trump, para anexar partes da Cisjordânia por Israel, é a continuidade de um projeto de colonização. Khaderno também fala que o povo palestino irá resistir ao chamado Acordo do Século, mas que para isso também precisa de ajuda internacional.
First of all, I have to stress that what's happening now, it's not something that is disconnected from the past history for the last 52 years of Israeli occupation.
I delivered to Prime Minister Netanyahu my vision for peace, prosperity, and a brighter future for Israelis and Palestinians. Today's agreement is a historic opportunity for the Palestinians to finally achieve an independent state of their very own. This vision for peace is fundamentally different from past proposals. Palestinians will be able to seize the new future with dignity, self-sufficiency, and national pride.
What we are facing is actually a continuous any kind of oppression done by the Israelis against the Palestinians since actually 1948 till now. What is happening now is that the Israelis are trying to legitimize their robbery of our land. They want to steal the land, but they want to give it a kind of legitimization by talking about annexation. Annexation for us, it's not something that belongs to them and they want to annex it to it's not their properties. This is a Palestinian land since ages, since centuries, and the Israelis now are trying to take it in a way or another with full support by the United States. So for us, it's a continuous of what we call it an apartheid system that we are facing in all the spheres of our life. So I'm living actually in Jerusalem. And as you know, Jerusalem is under the Israeli occupation since 1967. And my parents used to live in West Jerusalem, which is the side of Israel of the Israeli now, West Jerusalem, and they used to live in a place there called Al-Khatamon, which we lost our home and became refugees in East Jerusalem. So that's what happened in 1948 when Israel occupied 78% of Palestine. So that most of the Palestinians who were living in Jerusalem and other areas inside Palestine, they were obliged because of the different kinds of massacres and the clashes and the war that the Zionist movement launched against the Palestinian people. They were obliged to leave their lands, their homes, their farms, and became refugees. East Jerusalem, which is West Bank. Some of the Palestinians went to Gaza Strip. Some of them, they left to Lebanon or Syria or Jordan or other areas of the world. Actually, the annexation, what they are talking about, they want to annex around 30% of the West Bank, 30% of the West Bank. And if just to make it clear, we lost 78 in 1948. We lost 78% of Palestine in 1948. What is left for the Palestinians is 22%. So now the 22%, they want to annex or to rob or to take by force 30% of this land. And this land is mainly in Jordan Valley. And the Jordan Valley consists around 30% of the total area of West Bank, which is the most rich area. It's an agricultural area, which we call it the food basket of the Palestinian in Jordan, West Bank. Also, there are a lot of historical places. It has so many different climate zones. Also, it's the lung. You can say it's the lung that the Palestinian can breathe through its connection with Jordan. So when they annex this area, there is no continuity or connection between the West Bank and Jordan. So the Palestinian will be suffocated. They will be isolated in apartheid areas, in zones. It will be like also annexing 30%. That means we will lose totally our lands, our water aquifers, which is the water resources, natural resources, where there will be no connection between Jordan Valley and the other parts of West Bank. Of course, what is happening now, it's not new. It started since the Israeli Prime Minister in 1968. They start, confiscating partially, every year more and more land. They confiscated our water resources. Now at this moment, I can say that around 95% of the Jordan Valley is totally under their control. So what they are doing is they are legitimizing this by killing the aspirations of the Palestinians, by stopping what we call the two-state solution, that there will be no state for Palestinians because there will be no continuity between the different areas of the West Bank, between Jordan Valley. And also the annexation is not limited to Jordan Valley. They are talking about annexing the three main big settlements and the surrounding areas. The first one is Ma'ale Adumim. Ma'ale Adumim is the second largest Israeli settlement or colony. Actually, it's around 16 kilometers to the east of Jerusalem. They want to annex it, and that means that there will be a continuity between West Jerusalem, East Jerusalem, and Jordan Valley till the Dead Sea. So in this area, there will be no Palestinians. So they will cut the West Bank. If you see the map of the West Bank, they will cut it into half, and they will evacuate around 21,000 Palestinian Bedouin communities from that area to other villages. So there will be no continuity. They will suffocate the Palestinian dream. They will kill the two-state solution, and at the same time, they will have full control on Jordan Valley and the settlement. The second settlement is what they called Ghosh Atzion. Ghosh Atzion is a block of settlements, several settlements together. It's located near Bethlehem, will be totally disconnected from the south and from Jerusalem, which is near Jerusalem. So this settlement is also, they managed to confiscate 87% of the rural areas, the villages in that area. The third settlement, which is Ariel. Ariel, it's the biggest Israeli colony or settlement in the West Bank. In general, they want to annex around 450,000 Israeli settlers who are now living in the West Bank. So that means the West Bank will be like a Swiss cheese. There is no continuity, no hope for a Palestinian state, no hope for liberation. So we'll end with one state. So the Palestinian will go in their struggle to one state solution that will have, and of course Israel do not accept this. They do not accept two states, and of course they cannot accept one state, because the one state, that means it's the end of their apartheid state, which is the pure, what they call it, pure Jewish state. At the economic level, when we lose all these lands, we lose also our sources, economic sources. So we'll have no water, we'll have no lands, and in these areas mainly, they are villagers, and they are Palestinians who are Bedouins. They are living because they will be disconnected, they will be isolated. They have no way for grazing area for their sheep and goat. They are no way they can go with their sheep and goat to graze. So they will end to be cheap laborers working on their lands for the Israeli colonies and the Israeli settlers. That's what we are facing now. In these areas, the Palestinian, a good percentage of the Palestinian population, instead of investing in their land and cultivating their land and planting their land, they became workers working for the Israeli settler. I'll give you one example. One Israeli Russian family, they came to what they called Ras al-Oja. Ras al-Oja, it's a very small village in Jordan Valley, around maybe 10 kilometers to the north of Jericho, the oldest city in the world. He came there. The Israelis gave him free land, 150 dunam, and now he managed to confiscate 1,500 dunams. 1,500 dunams. Each dunam is 1,000 square meter. He managed to add. He surrounded his area with fences. He has swimming pool. He has stocks, animal stock. He has all kinds of facilities, from swimming pool to education to health care, etc. And so one person, he started with one person, and now he has more than so many families living there. The Palestinian villagers and the Bedouin villagers, they can hear the water coming through the pipe under their feet, and they have no right to use the water. They have no right to use the electricity, which is the poles of the electricity is on their lands. They have no right to use the electricity. They have no services, no clinic, no school, and he has everything there. This is the comparison. This is the contradiction that we are living. And this is I think it will be more and more difficult for the Palestinian in the future. The official position is the rejection. At the national level, among the Palestinian people and the Arab people in general, they are against what they are planning, the American and the Israelis. This is a kind of award from Trump to Netanyahu, to give him more power to return to be elected again, etc. So what kind of right does Trump has to give a land not for him, not for the Israelis, to another state, which was established on the Palestinian land? Of course, the Palestinian will resist this, and since 52 years, actually, in Jordan Valley, our slogan, we have a slogan which I can use it, to exist means to resist. If you want to continue on your land, you have to resist. And this is our slogan. We have to resist this occupation. We have to resist this annexation, because it's the biggest robbery in history. Of course, the Palestinian will not accept this. The Palestinian went into demonstrations, went into asking the solidarity from the international community, from all people in the world, to stand with them against this kind of robbery. Nobody can predict that uprising will come in 1 month or 2 months. It's not that you push the button and the Palestinian will have another uprising, But the Palestinian did not stop their struggle. I bet you that the Palestinian, they didn't stop their struggle since 1917 with Balfour Declaration till now. and they will not. They will continue. Struggle is a continuous struggle, but people, they will choose the right time when they. Unfortunately, one of the main problems that affect our struggle is the split between Hamas and Fatah, which there are some indicators for the last week that they are negotiating and they are reaching to some conclusions that they have to be united. I hope that this is one of the main problems that affect our struggle. And of course, if you ask me how we can achieve our liberation, four main pillars. The Palestinian unity is the first. Without Palestinian unity between Gaza, West Bank, between all the factions, political factions, between the Palestinian inside Palestine and the Palestinian outside Palestine, there will be no liberation. The second, the solidarity, international solidarity from your people, from other international people, solidarity groups that to support the Palestinians and the Palestinian rights, the legitimate rights. We need this kind of stuff. The third is the Arab support. If it's, let's say, the official Arab states or the people, and we rely more on people more than Arab states, because one of our problems is these reactionary Arab regimes that they are supporting the Israelis. So these are the main three pillars that I can: the international one, the Arab solidarity, the Palestinian unity, and of course the support from NGOs, from international NGOs, from the Palestinian Authority to steadfasten the Palestinian existence. Even if we cannot liberate our land now, our existence is crucial for our future. Without our existence, there will be no cause, no Palestinian cause. So we have to exist. We have to give support to our people, to give them the right services, the appropriate services that they are in need. For instance, education, agricultural services, health services. These are basic needs that they have. Without these, let's say, services, the Palestinian will leave their land and go to the cities. And this will help Israel to control it. So now the Palestinian Authority, they are trying to do something, Palestinian NGOs, international NGOs, and other communities. Netanyahu is one of the Israeli right-wing leader that this is his strategy. This is not new. Unfortunately, Israel is becoming more and more to the right, going more to the right, becoming more fascist. Even if you hear some of the liberal Israelis, they are talking that they are afraid that Israel will be a fascist state. They are more going to be centralized. First of all, he's working for his strategy, for the Zionist strategy, to have one Israeli pure Jewish state in all Palestine, from the river to the sea. This is his dream. He doesn't believe in the Palestinians as a people that deserve the rights for freedom and the state. He's clear about this. And also, he's working for himself, for his future, for his to have more power, to have more benefits for him and for his wife. And Palestinians are really in need for the solidarity from all peoples in the world. Without the solidarity, the Palestinian cannot. We don't have missiles. We don't have a nuclear weapon to threaten with. What we have is our will for liberation. What we are trying to do is we are struggling through popular resistance. That's what we are doing. But we are facing a very strong and one of the, let's say, the strongest military state in the Middle East. If not, I think it's number one. Even it's more than France and England. what they have. They have more than 240 nuclear, bombs, and they have everything. They have billions of dollars of support from the United States per year. They have billions of dollars from Germany since the Second War till now. They have support by the European countries. They have even support by Turkey. Boycott is a tool, peaceful tool, against any kind of oppression. It's a peaceful tool that can be used by any people, any group of people, by researchers like universities, researchers, research centers. There are big agreements between Europe and many countries with Israel with universities, so they can apply on this. It can apply in sports. It can apply on economic sanctions, on commodities, and also on top of these is the military products and devices that are, between Europe, between Britain, between United States, between Australia and other countries and Israel. What we need is the political support of people, and we need people to be aware about what kind of oppression we are under, what kind of, we have the right to resist. We have the right, and we are obliged, if we want to live and continue on this, we are obliged to resist, to continue living on this. This is my message and I believe that media is very important. We hope that our voice can reach the Brazilian people. Brazil is one of the biggest countries in South America, and it has weight. And I hope that we believe and we have good relations as people, and hoping that we'll have more and more support from the Brazilian, the other American, South American countries.
Você acabou de acompanhar a entrevista com o ativista palestino Sami Khaderno. Confira mais entrevistas como essa pelo YouTube, Spotify, Deezer ou iTunes do Brasil de Fato, ou toda sexta às 8h15 da noite na TVT. Nos vemos na semana que vem.